Most people say that you need to increase mobility in order to prevent injuries, but that's like saying that you need to exercise in order to fix your problems without telling you what kind of exercise. It could be strength training, hypertrophy training, muscular endurance, cardiovascular. While it may be technically right, it doesn't actually tell you what exactly you need to train. And it's just one piece of the puzzle, not the whole puzzle, which is why injuries don't just come back in the gym, but they come back while you're living your everyday life. Most re-injuries don't happen because someone was reckless, but rather they happen because they thought they are ready to resume training. Training may have felt normal, pain was gone or mostly gone, but they were not prepared for everything outside the gym. That's where bulletproofing gets misunderstood. This isn't about becoming invincible. It's about training the right things so your body can handle stress, unpredictability, and the challenges that life will throw at you without your body breaking down again. When I look back at my life and why my injuries came back, it wasn't because of the training that I did in the gym, but rather it was the unexpected things in life that I couldn't control, like stepping on my kid's toy, dealing with tantrums, lack of sleep, and all the extra responsibilities of life stacked up on top of training. That's why my injuries resurfaced. So if you're back to training and you want to prevent re-injury, this video will show you all the missing pieces of the equation. Quick side note, if you're still injured or you flare up easily, this isn't where you should start. I made another video of how to get back to training safely. I will link that into the description. Watch that first and then come back to this video. This video is about prevention after you return to training, giving you the best chance at handling what life has to throw at you without re-injury. I call the first step understanding the movement terrain. It's understanding all the movement patterns of the area that you're trying to bulletproof, because different joints have different movement capabilities. You don't need to memorize the anatomy. Once you understand the basic movement patterns of the area trying to bulletproof and you train those areas, you'll automatically strengthen the muscles, tendons, and ligaments that you need to. That's the foundation. The second step is reinforcing the chain around the weak link. The areas directly north and south of the injured area play a massive role. Your body is designed to work together, and when it works together, it is at its strongest. It's like a defensive lineman who lets somebody get past him and he tackles the quarterback. When one player does not do his job, another pays the price. Bulletproofing one area means strengthening the surrounding areas as well. For example, when addressing the strength and mobility of my hips, hamstrings, and quads, it played a critical role in bulletproofing my back. Without doing this, my pain would easily come back. Third step is balancing the scales. Correct imbalances and don't avoid them. Muscle imbalances are extremely common after an injury. Many people make the great mistake of avoiding movements because they're uncomfortable or weak. If your ego is getting in the way, you have to humble yourself and regress, or you'll never fix your weaknesses. Instead of being disappointed, change your mindset and realize this is a golden opportunity. Your body is telling you exactly what needs to be addressed in order for you to get stronger. All you have to do is listen. Ignoring it doesn't fix the problem. It just delays the inevitable. Step 4, increase shock absorption capacity. You need to increase your range of motion and you need to strengthen the entire range. Think of it like a shock. The bigger the shock, the more time that shock has to compress and slow down before impact. The greater the range, the more distance the shock has to absorb the force before it goes into the danger zone and causes injury. If you have less range, then you have very little room for error. It's like a short runway with the cliff at the end. If you don't slow down in time, you're going off the cliff. But if you have a longer runway, then you have more time to decelerate. So if you have a greater range of ankle movement, you're much less likely to sprain it when you step into a pothole that you can't see in the dark. Step 5, train the firing squad. Contract antagonist muscles in stretch positions. You should be able to fire the opposing muscle while the other muscle is in the stretch position. For example, contract your quads while your hamstrings are in the stretch position, or contract your glutes while performing the couch stretch. This creates more strength, stability, and control in the end ranges where injuries are more likely to happen. This is often a simple boost in performance because you don't need to grow more muscle. You just need to train the brain to recruit more muscle fibers in different positions. Step 6 is build fastener control. When you don't have control through the full range of motion, force moves unpredictably. This matters a lot in sports, but it also matters in life. Slip on some ice, step on a toy that's in the middle of the floor, miss a stair, step into a pothole. This is a lot like the difference between a barbell with a smooth shaft and one with a threaded shaft. At first, both seem fine, both hold the weight until something unexpected happens, like slipping on ice. The barbell with the threaded shaft can control the load in any position. The one with the smooth shaft can't. When things shift suddenly, that's when it fails. It's the same with your body. The person who has trained control through the full range of motion can handle the unexpected. The person who hasn't can't. That's when they think that I got injured because I slipped on some ice. But in reality, it was the lack of preparedness that they had, because the person who was prepared most likely would not have been injured by slipping on the ice. So how do you train control throughout the full range? Isometrics are great for this. They allow you to hold load in specific positions without passing through them with momentum, which often hides weaknesses. They're also low stress, which makes them perfect for injured areas. Step number 7, expand maximum recovery volume. Strength alone isn't enough. You need capacity so the injured area doesn't limit your training. I have another video that covers that in detail, which you can check out in the description. But until your capacity increases, you need workarounds. That means structuring your workouts smarter. For example, after a back injury, my spinal erectors were the weak link and fatigued easily. I worked my way up to being able to back squat or deadlift, but I could not do both of them on the same day as it would be too much. So instead, I created some workarounds. I might squat one day and pair it with a single leg RDL, and then deadlift another day and pair it with something like a Bulgarian split squat. And then when it came to doing rows, I wouldn't do a bent over row, but I might do something like a chest supported row to take the strain off my spinal erectors. And then when choosing other exercises as well, I would also do them supported, being careful not to put more additional strain on my spinal erectors. This allowed me to continue progressing without flaring up and losing training days. Step 8, the 4 loading zones. To truly bulletproof an area, you have to train all 4 loading zones. Exercises are categorized into the 4 following groups. The first one is the mid-range loading zone, where you're able to exert the maximum amount of force, like a bench press. Then there is higher load in the stretch position of the exercise, like a dumbbell fly. Then there is higher load in the contracted position of an exercise, like a cable fly. And then there are exercises where you're able to hold the load at any range within the exercise, like isometrics, which would be a push-up plank. So most people only train 1 or 2 of these categories, but this leaves gaps and cracks in your foundation that will ultimately break you when the storm of life hits. Step number 9, reaction and reflex training. Reaction training is training your reflexes to respond automatically without thinking about it when something unexpected happens. Just like a martial artist, doesn't stop to think about what they need to do when somebody throws a strike at them, but rather their body automatically knows how to move. That didn't happen by accident. They train this way. And you need to train the same way in order to automatically respond without thought. Injuries don't usually happen through slow, controlled, perfect reps. They happen when something unexpected occurs, when their body has to respond instantly in less than a second. This is why reaction training matters, and this can be trained different ways. For the lower body, you can do some jump roping, you can do some skater hops, you can jump off a box and learn how to absorb the landing. And for the upper body, you can do some clapping push-ups, you can do some medicine ball throws against the wall and catch it. You can push and catch a kettlebell as it swings on a pendulum. These movements teach your nervous system to respond automatically. They teach your body how to absorb force, redirect it, and stabilizing it without having to think. In the beginning of my recovery journey, I worked up my way so I was strong enough to hold certain positions as long as I was consciously aware. But as soon as something unexpected happened, like being parked on a hill and the car door swinging and hitting my hip, all of a sudden my pain would shoot through the roof and my back would be misaligned. And it would remain that way until I saw a chiropractor. If I knew that it was coming, I would have been able to brace myself and prevent it from happening. But I didn't know it was coming. It happened unexpectedly. Reaction training changed that. I taught my body how to automatically contract the muscles that hold everything firm, like a tree bracing itself the moment an impact hits. The same thing happened after reaction training, but this time I didn't get injured. My spine stabilized fast enough to prevent damage. That's what protected my body from re-injury. That's what keeps you safe when life doesn't give you time to prepare. Every injury is different, but these principles apply everywhere. You'd be surprised how strong you can get in previously injured area to become. As you strengthen an injured area this way, it often stops becoming the weakest link. Then you can move on to the next weakest link, and then the next. Over time, you fix more cracks in your foundation and build a body that's far more resilient than most people ever achieve. This is how you bulletproof your entire body to the highest level it's capable of. This is the exact system I wish somebody had assembled it for me when I needed it the most. And that's why I put together a simple PDF in order for you to have all the puzzle pieces without missing a single one so you can start putting it into action. The link is in the description. And hit subscribe if you want to continue building strength that doesn't break when the unexpected happens.